I'm building the fastest college team ever, and right now there's nobody on this roster, so we have to start it off right with a beast, and our first halfback's gonna be Jaden Nixon. He's blazing fast, coming in at a 96 speed, so this feels like a good start to this team, but I'm putting all of these guys on Arizona State, and we have to somehow win the loaded Pac-12 while also getting a national championship with the Sun Devils. If I'm not able to accomplish that, I have to give away a jersey to a random commenter, and considering our starting defensive tackle is a 74 overall, accomplishing all that in one season is going to be very hard to do, but I am surprised at how quick Elijah Judy is. To finish out the defensive tackle position, I'll be adding these two players, and if at any point in this video two players are tied with the same speed, I get to pick which of them I put on the roster, but we are just getting started in building this team up, and I really want to see who our quarterback will be, but first we should probably get the offensive lineman out of the way. At left tackle, I'd love to have Olu Fashanu, but unfortunately when I go to sort from speed, we're going to have to do it one more time to find Walker Batty, and the backup behind him is actually going to be his teammate. I'm not sure if those guys are on the championship level that we need, so hopefully our left guard position can make up for it, and it's going to be Trent Holler. At a 71 overall, this is tough, but if he somehow manages to get hurt, there's an 81 overall behind him, and I wish some of these top centers were a bit quicker, but instead we are going to come in and get Will Lees tied with Drew Kendall at 69 speed. Obviously Drew's a higher overall, so I'm going to choose him to be center number 1, and I can only do that because they're tied with the same speed, but that's much needed if we're going to have a shot at a championship with these guys. At right guard, I've pretty much accepted that we're not going to get anybody great, but Walter Parks is an 85, and this is by far the best offensive lineman we've gotten yet. Right behind him was a 75 overall with 69 speed, but he probably won't see the field, and let's just hope that our right tackle position ends up well, but it's Tyler Needham and Jennings Dunker. This guy was actually a part of the team that all the college players built for me, and if you remember this picture, he's back in the lineup, but this time he actually has to start for us. I wish I could move Thomas Remick over Trent Holler, but because it's the fastest team, I have to start the fastest player at that position, and let's move over to our defense and see who our starting safeties are going to be. Malachi Starks is a 95 overall, but I'm not sure if he's going to be the fastest. It looks like he is tied with Will Jones, so we're finally going to have somebody starting that's at the top of his position group, and having two 93 speed free safeties is going to be great for man coverage. As for strong safeties, I would love Caden Bullock, but he's only a 90 speed, and it looks like there's a 96 speed one from Cincinnati, so DJ Taylor might only be a 77, but he has to be quick, and right behind him as our backup's going to be Alex Johnson from UCLA. I feel like this team will play a lot better in-game than it looks on paper, but before we continue to build up our defense, I want to at least fill one more position on offense, and of course it's the legendary fullback one. I don't really know what to expect here, but it looks like there's going to be a fullback with 89 speed, and Trent Penix from NC State is going to be a monster at this position. We're going to have to find ways to use him, and I don't even know how to pronounce this dude's name, but if our fullback somehow manages to get hurt, we'll have to use him. Right now, the fastest player on this team is 96 speed Jaden Nixon, but we're going to go back over to defense and figure out our cornerback position, so I have a feeling we're going to find some guys that are even faster. I see that players like Kalen King and Kool-Aid McKinstry have 94 speed, but the real question is that quick enough for us? And we don't want someone like Tommy Hill. Alright, one more flip, and it is going to be Gentry Williams at the top, which honestly isn't bad considering he has pretty decent coverage stats, but unfortunately he's only an 80 overall, and then our cornerback 2 is even worse at a 73. Tariq Watson's only a freshman, so I can't expect him to be a high overall, but with him being our cornerback 2, we're probably going to struggle a bit, and it looks like at CB3 we're going to get a guy with 95 speed. Now the good news is after him there's a ton of cornerbacks on here that are all tied at 94, so I'm obviously going to pick someone like Kalen King, and then also Kool-Aid McKinstry, which gives us two 98 overall corners, but because they're so far back on the depth chart, I'm not sure they're ever going to play. This could sound messed up, but I might be rooting for injuries during our season, and while I'm thinking about it, let's go ahead and get our kicker out of the way, which is going to be Spencer Schrader. 81 speed isn't anything crazy, but at least we have somebody that's going to be consistent, and on the punting side of things, we are going to get a player like Mark Crawford or James Evans. This guy's an 88 overall, and he plays for Indiana, so I know he's going to be good at punting because he gets a ton of reps doing that, so that's who I chose. And while I was at it, I also filled out our long snapper and kickoff specialist. To fill out these though, we'll need to see our other wide receivers and halfbacks, but before we do that, I want to see our options at tight end. I would absolutely love somebody like Brock Bowers, and it looks like he is going to be tied at 88 speed with two other players, so of course I'm going to choose him as our starter, and this is by far the best position group we've had yet. All three of those guys are above an 80 overall and have 88 speed, and I'm curious what our other halfbacks are going to be besides Jaden Nixon. The first one has 95 speed, and it is Chris Johnson Jr., but I don't think he's related to the Chris Johnson that played in the NFL and was super quick on the Titans. Either way, with stats like this, he will make for a great backup, and for our third stringer, I actually get to choose between these three players, but I ended up going with Omarion Hampton because he's the highest overall, and I won't lie, this halfback room isn't the best, but because they're so quick, I'm hoping we can still win a championship with them. What'll really decide how we do though is who our quarterback quarterback is, and I'm not going to find that out just yet, because before we finish the offense, I'd rather just get the defense out of the way, and I'm a little nervous for how the rest of this team is going to turn out. It doesn't seem like we're on a championship level right now, but for our left end, we are going to get two guys at 86 speed, and they both play for Miami, but neither of them are great. This isn't making me feel any better about our odds of winning it all, and it looks like the best right ends on the screen are pretty slow, and we are going to instead get Lamont Green or Xavier Thomas. The rusher out of Clemson is an 86 overall, so this is massive because we finally got somebody on our defensive line that's pretty good, and on this side of the ball, he's our second highest overall starter. I really need our linebackers to clutch it up though, and we are going to get Damari Robinson or Jalen Sneed. So I guess I'm going to choose the 80 overall freshman out of Notre Dame, but Damari Robinson will also be on our team as a backup, and that overall is just not going to cut it. Our middle linebacker is going to have 91 speed though, and that's going to make Jaron Koenig a really fun user even if he's only an 81. Right behind him, we're going to have Blake Nicholson and Tyler Jancy, but I assumed we'd run a 3-4, so there's one more spot we have to fill, and I see 4 different players that are tied with an 88 speed, but you know we're going with Harold Perkins Jr. I just used him in a rebuild, and on this roster, he's a 98 overall, so we need more injuries on defense to make sure he gets into the starting lineup, and to finish it all out, at right outside linebacker, we don't want CJ Godes, because 64 speed is just abysmal for a linebacker, so we need to refresh it one more time, and we're going to get Devin Jackson, Michael Harris, or Andrew Harris. Since he's the highest overall, I'm going to have to go with Devin Jackson, but I think Michael and Andrew might be brothers because they're both from Florida. I could only pick one of them to be on this team though, so they're going to be split up, and this is what our defense is going to look like going into the season. Obviously, the best player is Malachi Starks, but with how quick some of these guys are, I'm sure they're going to overperform, and now it's time to finish out the rest of our offense, and more importantly, figure out who our quarterback is. I do want to save the best for last though, so we're going to look at wide receivers first, and we are going to have Tyler Harrell and Phillip Brooks as our first two. Phillip plays for Kansas State, and his receiving stats aren't the best, but I'm hoping him and Tyler Harrell can just run straight by the defense, and we have 3 more spots to fill, but there's 4 wide receivers with 96 speed, so I think the 72 overall from Pitt's going to be the one I don't choose, and that means at wide receiver 3 we have Monterey Baldwin, who I'd assume is going to be very effective out of the slot for us, and it's nice to know that our backups are also going to have some burners on them. Now it's time to fill the position you all have all been waiting for though, and Caleb Williams has 86 speed while Jordan Travis has 87, but we're about to find out if that's high enough to be our starter. Obviously we don't want Donovan Leary with 43, and it's time to sort. Here we go. Our first guy is a 71 overall from Air Force. Zachary Larrier's throwing stats are very disappointing, but I have no choice but to make him our quarterback 1, and let's just say at 93 speed he gets hurt. Malik Hornsby's behind him, who could actually be really good with 85 throw power. If we're going to use our wide receiver speed, we need somebody with a strong arm, and just because we need a third quarterback on the roster, I have to choose between Jason Bean and John Rise Plumlee. To be honest, after looking at their throwing stats, it was a no-brainer, but I doubt John Rise Plumlee's going to see the field much, and we've officially completed our offense, but I don't know how to feel about it. I think Brock Bowers is going to have to carry us a ton, and since we're not going to be able to start cornerback Kalen King on this team, I've decided to use his 94 speed at kick returner. It took me a while, but I finally have the team in Dynasty so we can play through a season, and it stinks that 3 of our 4 best players aren't even going to start for us. Also, our quarterback depth chart is flipped upside down, but we have to make sure that the fastest players are the ones starting, and our lineup comes in at an 81 overall. I have no idea how we're going to win the Pac-12 since we're projected to finish 10th, and making the 4-team playoff is going to be even harder because we're projected to be the 71st best team in the country, but it's all going to come down to how much speed matters, and like always, this will be played on Heisman. I'm glad our first game's against North Dakota State, and hopefully by the end of the year we can actually pull in a full crowd. One fun thing I've already noticed early on is since we're so much faster than everybody else, it's not that hard to move the ball, but we're also playing against an FCS school, so that does change a lot of things. Zachary Larrier is not going to be able to play like a 71, and I'm afraid that our defense is not on the level that it needs to be. Here on 3rd and 4, they are going with what looked like a wide receiver screen. That's going to be intercepted by Johnson though, and he might be able to take it back to the house if he can break both of these tackles. I was not expecting this to have a chance, but unfortunately he got knocked out, and this is the first time I'm really going to check out how Larrier can throw the ball. That one was put right on the money, so maybe he'll be alright, but I feel like most of the time we're still going to be better off running it with him, and we're getting stopped on 3rd and goal, but that's okay because I'm going to be smart for once and take our field goal. This is the first time playing with this team, and the speed has been working out for us. Their running back was open, but we've made sure that we've been able to limit possessions in this game, and on the speed option, I'm going to pitch it to Nixon, who should be able to finish this off with his top-end speed. All around, just a great first half from us, and I think we might be able to do better with this team than I thought we would. I've been pleasantly surprised at how the defense has done, as man coverage is OP, and I wasn't expecting to hold North Dakota State to 0. Zachary Larrier also doesn't perform like a 71 overall, and some of these jersey combinations that Arizona State has are beautiful. I promise we'll rotate through all of them in this video, but now we have a real test against Oklahoma State, and we have their backup halfback starting for us, so that's not a great sign. Our defense has done their job early on though, and we are just going to complete our first pass to Brooks, who's going to fight all the way to the 45, and they've gotten us to a third down. I'm going to look for Brock Bowers, but I have no time. This is one of the downsides of having an offensive line that is built on speed and not on skill, but our punter plays for Indiana, so he is used to this, and we should be able to pin them back inside the 5 if this bounces correctly, and it doesn't. The good news is our defense is all over the place, and they're going with the halfback screen, but we're going to pick it off with Kanak, and that's going to go for a pick 6 early on. I can't stress how much fun playing defense is, and on 3rd and 4, they're going with the pass. I'm expecting slants, but we just got an instant sack with some of our speed. Approaching halftime, they have scored 3 points on us, but we are generating so much pressure, and I'm hoping we were able to take them out of field goal range, but they have a good kicker. I'm not sure how we're going to be able to compete with teams like Oregon and USC, but that will come at a later time. And on this 3rd and 5, I'm sending 6 at them, which we got in quickly. Their only points in this game have come off field goals, but they've racked up 4 of them, and one of the reasons our offense has struggled more in this game than previous ones is we are missing some of our starters as they've gotten injured. They're not out for long, but losing someone like Brock Bowers hurts, and I'm just going to do my best to take as much time off the clock as I can with me. Larrier faked out multiple different players at once, and his speed is going to make it so nobody is going to catch him on this run. Our defense would also go on to force an interception, so we're going to wind down the clock. Chris Johnson Jr. just broke that tackle and squeezed through that hole. He's going to score a touchdown, and I cannot believe how well we played the day on 4th and 10. We just need a big hit here, and that's going to seal it. I think we're ready for Pac-12 conference play, but we have one more matchup before all of those games start, and Fresno State's a solid opponent. In real life, they're coming off a loss to Wyoming, but they were ranked at one point, and we just got to get a sack here. Elijah Judy might only be a 74 overall, but the defensive tackle has 87 speed and solid pursuit, so very early on, we can already go up by a lot of points, and I am pitching this one to Tyler Harrell, who has transferred like 3 or 4 times in his career now, and there's no way that anyone on the field is going to catch the 97 speed wide receiver. On this play, I am sending 8 players at the quarterback, and they still had enough time to get it out, so we might give up our first touchdown of the season. Up to this point, we haven't, and we forced a fumble, but their offensive lineman picked it up, and that's unfortunate, but at least they're only getting 3. I'm sensing a blitz on this play, and I was right about it, but we have a 93 speed quarterback, so as long as I'm prepared for it, we'll just be able to scramble out from there and get a lot of yards. With a halfback toss, there's no way that anybody is going to be able to keep up with him, but Fresno State just won't go away, and we could have a touchdown here if our quarterback had a stronger arm, but it's not going to go far. This is the first time that I felt like we might actually lose. I'm going to roll out here though and float the crossing route. That one actually soared just as far as the last ball. Harrell catches it, and I just keep going back to this option running play because it is so much fun. Larrier's going to make that one defender miss and just pitch it. There we go. That is going to result in a touchdown. We have Fresno State in a position where they have to pick up this 3rd and 8, and we sack them. So it seems like we're taking control of this game, and to open up the 4th quarter, I'm going to immediately hit Destin Hill, and I don't think anybody's going to be able to catch him. He has the speed to just get by all these defenders, and that's the beauty of this team. For a brief second, I was worried, but we were able to pull away in the end, and Lamont Green Jr. had an amazing game. The real schedule starts with Pac-12 conference play though, as I see 4 ranked teams, and to make the Pac-12 championship, we have to make sure that we win our division. I'm not sure how we're going to do against Cal, but just know they're undefeated going into this game, and on our first drive, they could get us on a 3 and out. This is a 3rd and 11 where we have to pick it up to Phillip Brooks, and he is going to break a tackle. Please get free here. He might not have scored a touchdown on that play, but it would result in our first touchdown, and we're going for a 2nd on this drive, so even though I was a bit worried, we're actually doing pretty well so far. We need to get the first here, and I think that'll lead to a touchdown. Here on 2nd and goal, our right tackle just didn't block, and our quarterback got injured on the play. Malik Hornsby is out there to back up, and he misses the throw. It's a good thing that Zachary Larrier is going to return soon, and I thought I was going to root for him to get hurt, but I actually enjoy using him. 3rd and 9 for the Golden Bears. I'm trying to keep up with all their players in man-to-man coverage, but they're going to burn us for a touchdown. I can promise you that does not feel good. On 3rd and 11, I'm waiting for the deep route to develop, but it never got open, and Cal ended the half with another touchdown. I'm going to guess they are running the ball on 3rd and 4, which we got right, but our offense needs to come alive if we're going to win this game. On 3rd and 8, I'm going with the halfback screen to Chris Johnson Jr., and he is going to get the first, but they keep stopping our run, so our only option is to pass the ball, and that one just got deflected at the line. I'm not sure how I feel about the fake field goal call, but I know we have a fast quarterback back there, and that was the right decision. It was definitely risky, but we should be able to go up by 3 points if we can get in, and we're just not getting the blocks we need, so we're going to have to resort to passing for the touchdown. We lose almost every battle on the line up front, which has made it so hard to keep up with them. Jaden Ott just broke a tackle, and someone please bring him down. That man has kept it close for Cal, and I'm ready for the run on this one, but they hit us with the play action, and we weren't prepared. Our entire season could end right now. This is a 3rd and 5 that we have to pick up with our backup halfback. Our starter's still not back, and we have more first downs than them, but but that has not made the difference that we need. I think the deep post is going to get open here, though, and the safety just left Tyler Harrell. I don't know why, but we're going to take it into the house, and we have a huge opportunity on 3rd and 4 to get the stop, which we do. I would love if we could just hold on to the ball and run out the rest of the clock. There's a good chance it happens. Monterey Baldwin is going to get the first down, and every single time we've run the triple option out of shotgun, it's worked out, but I guess that was a bad example. Now we're going to go over to the Wildcat where we don't get it, and everything is on the line on this 3rd and 16. Brock Bowers creates the separation, though, and that's a catch. For a second, I thought we were about to have to punt it back to them and get another stop, but we have sealed the game, and unlike Miami, now that the game's over, I'm just going to take a knee. We're a third of the way through the year, and we're still undefeated, but I have no idea how we're going to beat USC. The only advantage we have is we get to play it at home, but Caleb Williams is probably going to torch us, and on 3rd and 11, I just have to hope we can get enough pressure, and I only sent 3. He's throwing it to the check down, and we make the tackle in time. I think we're going to have to make sure that we limit possessions, and Jaden Nixon is finally back from injury, but he's getting nowhere. It would be so unfortunate if we got stopped this early on, so we're going to have to pick up a big play to Destin Hill, and thank goodness we picked it up. We're just going to start hitting him with some read options, and Zachary Larrier might have the speed to take this to the house. Nobody has the angle to catch him, and he is gone. What a massive play that was, and Caleb Williams gets run through. So right now, we have all the momentum in the world on our side, and I'm trying to burn through the rest of the first half on this drive. I'm going to find Baldwin where he is not going to hold on to the football, and this is another 3rd and long where we are going to have to somehow pick it up. Zachary Larrier needs to make a play here. I'm just going to have to throw it on the run. He is going to complete it, but we're marked short. This is very risky, but I want to have full control of this game, and we are going to pick it up plus a lot more. And going into the half, being up 11 on USC is going to be massive. We also got ball to start the 3rd quarter, so we really just need to continue to wind out as much clock as possible. And I know it's slow, it's boring, but we need to keep the ball out of Caleb Williams' hands if we're going to take down his team. And Zachary Larrier has a lane here, but he is going to get caught. I don't know how, but at least we still have the ball. And on the counter, Jaden Nixon, welcome back to playing for the Sun Devils, because he has just put us up 21-3. This is only the 3rd time that the Trojans have touched the ball today, but we are in full control right now. And on 2nd and 10, Caleb Williams is going to try to make a play. We're holding him a little bit short, but we need our defense to step up, and I ran commit, which did not work. The good thing is we're still up by 2 possessions, and we should be able to burn through even more clock by just running the option over and over. So in the end, I think we're going to be able to hold on. Zachary Larrier's just been on another level today. He's going to juke out that cornerback, and he's also stiff-arming this guy for even more yards. We might have to play perfectly, but I'm convinced that we can beat anybody, and what a guy we have at quarterback. It's a bit surprising, but he's done enough to get us ranked in the top 25 already, and he's also in the Heisman race, which really surprises me because his passing stats are not the best, and he's also only rushed for 400 yards, but we've gotten into a rhythm, and now we face Colorado. Deion Sanders has turned around this program, so unlike normally, it's not going to be an easy win for us, but our defense has been really good about holding teams to 3. That means if we can go down and score a touchdown, we will be off to a great start. Once again, I am going to try to make a play here. I'm going to get this pass off in time, but it's overthrown straight to Shiloh Sanders, and that is not what you want to see on a turnover. We literally had a touchdown, but it resulted in an interception instead, and I can't believe that they're pressing our wide receivers considering how fast they are. We're going to try to outthrow Travis Hunter, and we drop the ball. He is celebrating like he did something, and I'm starting to get very worried about this team. On 3rd and 10, I see that it's a screen pass, and they're going to pick it up. However, they had a penalty on the play, and I'm going to try to get them out of field goal range. That might be a dumb decision, but we just have to get in and sack Shedeur Sanders. I see somebody wide open. Why is he floating it over there? And there's a flag. Xavier Weaver committed pass interference again, and I'm not sure what's going on right now, but we have held them exactly how we needed to, and we get the interception with Alex Johnson. This is the 2nd time he's done it this season, and Shedeur Sanders must be seeing ghost or something because he was never open. Now we are toasting right by Travis Hunter, and we had all the momentum for a split second there, but Deion Sanders has gotten his team down on the goal line, and on 3rd and goal, Shedeur Sanders is trying to escape, but we're going to hold them to 3. And I just noticed that we're ranked number 14 in the country. We had a bye week in between the time we got into the top 25 and now, but I can't believe we jumped so far up and our tight end is faster than that linebacker. Surely that's a touchdown, but the Florida tight end drops it, and it's going to result in us attempting a 49-yarder with Spencer Schrader, which is just good. If we're going to be ranked this high, though, we need to play like a top 15 team, and Zach Larrier is going to escape out of the pocket around the defensive end and get the first plus a bit more. He has been the star of this team, and on 3rd and 3, I'm throwing it to the open slant, and not only did this ball go to the wrong target, but it was also dropped. I doubt Deion Sanders is expecting the fake field goal. We're going to get it off in time, and that's a touchdown. We've made it personal now, and Colorado hasn't been able to back it up, so we're gladly going to leave Boulder with a win, and by this player of the game, you can tell how bad our offense was, but we were still able to beat a 5-1 team, and right now we're running into our toughest opponents as we're about to play number 11 Washington. It's crazy that in a few weeks we went from number 25 to number 6, but we have the third best defense in the country, and it's about to be tested against Washington. We're also fortunate most of our toughest games have been at home, but again, we're now facing off against one of the toughest offenses in the country with Michael Penix at QB, and on 3rd and 7, it looks like this is going to be a screen pass, and we were ready for it as we sack him, force the fumble. Someone please pick this up on our team. There we go. I could not have asked for a better defensive start. Now we're going to score on the slant to Baldwin with the touchdown, and in a 3rd and 8 situation, they go with a halfback draw. So early on, it feels like we have complete control of this game, and they're really pressing the fastest team in America. That's a bad decision if our quarterback has the arm to make this throw, but unfortunately he doesn't. And we've already run some fake field goals this year, so we might as well try a fake punt, but our punter cannot throw the ball. That was a bad decision as it led to a Washington touchdown. So going forward, we have to limit mistakes, and on 2nd and 3, we're going to pick it up, but they've been all over stopping the run, so I'm going to try to fake them out with a little bit of play action here. We might have the deep post if Tyler Harrell can make the catch, and that was definitely a bit too close for comfort, but it has worked out for us. Unfortunately, Washington ended the first half with another touchdown, and they're on our red zone again, but we were finally able to hold them to just a field goal, and on a crucial 3rd and 9, we need to pick this up. We have the speedster at wide receiver though, and we are going to catch it. Phillip Brooks finally makes another showing holding onto the football, but we've finally run into a team whose offense we struggle to stop, and I'm just going to send a ton of blitzers at Michael Penix. What was that play? The computer tried something there, and it did not work. On 3rd and 11, they're trying to throw it to the end zone. We're going to pick it with Williams, and if we play our cards right, we should be able to burn through the rest of the clock, but that's going to require picking up multiple first downs, and we're going to get close, but Washington's taking their timeouts, and to throw them off, I'm going to go with the design quarterback rollout play. I think we're going to be able to just scramble for the first instead of trying to make a throw. There we go. Now, there is a few extra seconds that we can't get through, so we are going to have to run the ball instead of taking 3 knees, unlike what Miami had to do, and look at Zachary Larrier go padding his stats, and it's remarkable that we're actually 7-0. You would never imagine that Arizona State would be the number 2 team in the country, but now our defense is ranked number 1, and we're going to have to figure out how to stop Cameron Ward. We've already gotten them to a 3rd and 10 where they're going to go with the 5 wide and throw it short, so it's nice that we got the early stop. Now we're going to mix in some play action, but my offensive line is no good, and with about 4 minutes left in the 2nd quarter, nobody's scored yet. I am going to try to throw it up to Tyler Harrell. He just ran by that cornerback, and I really need to do that more often. That was so effective. We're giving up the 3rd and 6 though, but apparently there was a flag on the play, and offensive pass interference is huge. Now there's a good chance that we're going to get the stop. They just have to take the drag underneath, and besides our big touchdown, it's been a defensive battle, but that's what makes these type of games interesting, and once again, we are going to toast that same corner. Number 6 does not have the speed to keep up with our wide receivers, and maybe instead of running the ball so much, I need to pass more. I think the Cougars are finally going to get on the board, but we're still up by 14 because they missed, and wouldn't it be funny if for a 3rd time we went over the top? I saw the exact look that I wanted, and we dropped it. You've got to be kidding me, but at least we're still leading at the half, and the Cougars would finally find the end zone, but we have the ball back, and it looks like we're about to do the same with Jaden Nixon diving in. 3rd and 3. They just go with the read option, and we both missed Cam Ward. Now we're going to miss the tackle there. Please tell me he's not about to take this to the house. We have fast players on this defense, but if anything, it shows that the game is very far from being over, and realistically, we should just go for pounding the rock, but I see the press man-to-man coverage, and that time it just didn't work out. I am going to throw it up to Brock Bowers, actually, because we have not gone to the star tight end, but Washington State stopped us, and I really don't want to admit it, but we have choked this game. We need to stop Cam Ward and hopefully just get a goal line hold. We're shooting the gap, and it's going to all come down to 2 final plays. On 3rd and goal, they get a little closer, but they are in the end zone, and now they're going to go with another pass. They're trying to take off, and we've held them. It was very close, but we should be able to escape with the win. That was almost a safety, and I'm just glad our undefeated season stayed alive. Of the 4 games left on our schedule, Utah is the toughest one, so if anybody's going to beat us, it's probably them, because we don't have the luxury of playing this one at home, and late season conference road games in NCAA football are always a trap. We're on an early 3rd and 8 after getting a stop, and we're just going to take the out route. Maybe we can make this guy miss, and somehow we got injured, and it's marked short, but I feel like we need to play this one very aggressive, and it paid off for the time being, but on the next 4th down, we're not going to get it, so this isn't the start I was hoping we'd get, but on 3rd and inches, they went backwards, and I hope they took their kicker out of field goal range, but they didn't. Not a good first quarter from us there, and Kalen King still has not done anything on any of these kick returns. Maybe he can finally do something for us here, getting us to what looks like about midfield, and that has helped this drive tremendously. We need to bounce this one out with Jaden Nixon, though. Please beat this corner on the outside and dive into the end zone. Another 3rd and short type of play. This one is going to not get picked up, and it has been a game of inches, but I love that because it has mainly worked out in our favor, and I'm going for the corner route here, which was a bit risky, but we've now put ourselves in a position to go up 14-3 on Utah before the half, and I just love how easily we've been able to control some of these games against top-ranked opponents. Zach Larrier is going to scramble for the first here by just avoiding multiple people, and we've had to work very very hard for our 21 points today, but it's been worth it. Even with Cam Rising healthy, Utah just hasn't been the team that they've been in previous years. We're holding them again, and with about 2 minutes left, it is all over. We're just running out the rest of the clock, and Jaden Nixon is going to pad his stats. I am so proud of this group of guys, and even if we lose one game, we're almost a playoff lock anyway. Our next matchup is at BYU, and it looks like we're going to get on the board on our first possession. We just have to finish it off, and that's what we're going to do. Speed really does matter in this game a lot, as it has made this team perform so much better than it normally would. It's only an 81 overall, and our defense has held them scoreless, which is going to remain true. I know the Cougars are 2-8, but we haven't dominated a team like this in a long time, and approaching the postseason, we need to be in good form. UCLA's 6-4, so they'll probably put up a better fight, but it's also our last home game of the year, and since that technically makes it senior night, you know that we can't play bad. We're already about to score a touchdown this early, and I'm sure they're expecting the run, so I'm going to just try dump it off to our halfback, but that was not the right decision. 3rd and goal. We need to punch it in with Chris Johnson Jr., and I hadn't seen him on the field in a long time, but he did exactly what we needed to. We're stopping Dante Moore, and to end the first half, we're going for another touchdown, which we could get if this throw wasn't off target. Surprisingly, they have made the mistake of pressing us for a second time, but I was actually wrong. They had a safety back there, and Phillip Brooks still catches it. We do not deserve a chance to get a touchdown here, but I am going to roll out and throw it straight to Brock Bowers, and that is how you end a first half. Unfortunately, though, with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter, UCLA is looking to score a touchdown, which would give them the lead. We need to stop Dante Moore, and he tripped up, but they've been able to fight their way back in this game. And on 3rd and 2, I don't think we're going to be able to hold everything. Come on, just make the hit, and let's hope we can get another goal line stop. I see the drag underneath, but Xavier Thomas, while trying to get by this offensive lineman, got a hand up, and UCLA does have all 3 timeouts, so I'm going to go with a little bit of a play action, but that was not smart. We fumbled the football. I don't want to punt it back to them, so we need to find a way to pick this up, though. We can't take the safety. The crossing route is going to get open just in time, and now we can end the game with some QB kneels. All we have is one game left in our season, and it's against our rivals Arizona, so I'm sure they're going to come out and give us their best effort, and they definitely are so far, as they have scored first, and now we need to respond back with a touchdown of our own. They have some interesting defensive coverage out here on 3rd and 10. They think that they can press Phillip Brooks. I'm not sure why they'd ever assume that. We're going to dive in, and now it's 3rd and 7, where I am going to try to send a blitz in. We sent 6, and we did almost make it. We got to pick this off. Come on, there we go, Taylor. You have 96 speed, and you can tell Arizona's quarterback is rattled. We are the team that can go over the top like that, as we have another opportunity to do so, and it was such an underthrow, but we're still going to score. I'm starting to get more comfortable throwing the ball with Zachary Larrier. I'm just going to stand in the pocket here, wait a long time, and throw it to Tyler Harrell. The refs are challenging it like he couldn't get a foot in, but it was obviously always going to be a catch, as that left foot is going down. And after that, Arizona could never recover, as we always maintained a 2-3 possession lead, and look at this at the end. Jaden Nixon's going to rub it in. So what a way to end the regular season, and also an amazing performance from Zachary Larrier. We deserve our spot in the Pac-12 championship, and thankfully, no matter what happens in this game, we should have a playoff spot on lock. I feel like we're good enough to beat Oregon, but Bo Nix could give us a lot of issues, and I'm not sure why this game's being played at our home stadium instead of a neutral site, but I'm not going to complain about it, because we need all the help that we can get, and on 3rd and 4, we're going to drop the pass. I know this team is built on speed and not skill, but that's very frustrating, and we're not going to get the 4th down, so our defense needs to do its job, and we're putting a lot of pressure on Bo Nix. I learned my lesson on the last drive by passing on 3rd and 4. This time we went with a run instead, and I can't let the Ducks get us off the field again. I'm going to try to throw this one to Brock Bowers, and it's overthrown. It's really all going to come down to our defense. They have all routes over on that right side of the field. They're throwing it straight to Jaren Kaenick. Of course he's going to intercept it, and he might have the speed to take it to the crib if it wasn't for Bo Nix that's going to make the tackle. We have a defensive battle on our hands in the last Pac-12 game ever, and on 3rd and 10, I'm going to hit him with a little bit of play action, but take our underneath and just hope that Harrell can fight for it, but he was short, and they're standing over him, disrespecting him, so we're not going to take that lightly. We are going to go for it on 4th and 1, and we don't get it. This has just been a painful day for us, and no way Bucky Irving is about to break free. Come on, someone be faster. We have the fastest defense in the country. Make the tackle. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. By the 3rd quarter, we're still down by 10. I mean, we did get a touchdown, but we just haven't been able to move the ball the way that we need to. Phillip Brooks, though, is going to make multiple players miss here, and I need us to just come alive. I see Tyler Harrell on the left side just ran straight by that cornerback, but since the throw wasn't on target enough, he had to dive out just to make the catch, and we've not done a good job of finishing today, but Chris Johnson Jr. is in the game to make a difference. On the plays where we've done well against Bo Nix, it's always been sending a ton of pressure. We missed the sack there, though, and no way he just broke that tackle. Come on. That was a hard-fought defensive stop, and I see some press man-to-man coverage on the field, but I didn't even have time to get the ball out, and I'm starting to realize realize that we are very close to losing our first game. The Ducks are going to have a 6-point lead going into the fourth quarter, and we have got to score a touchdown on this drive. Omarion Hampton is out on the field, our third string running back, and he is going to fight for a lot of yards there. If I could just adjust the depth chart instead of having the fastest player on the field, we would be so much better. Now I'm going with the play action though, and that cornerback fell right for it. The issue now is the Ducks can win with a field goal, so we have to hold them, and guessing run here might be really stupid, but it ended up paying off. I know they have 3 timeouts left, but why are they punting it? And I guess I'm not going to complain, assuming we pick this up with Malachi Starks. Maybe we can get a decent return out of it as well. He was able to juke around and, come on, break a tackle or two. I just don't get why they wouldn't go for it. All we need is 1 first down to seal the game, and we get it. So the fastest team ever has won the last Pac-12 championship, and Zach Larrier was so close to winning the Heisman, but I'm not surprised that he didn't because his passing stats weren't the greatest, and he did run the ball well, but every time he took a sack, it subtracted from this total. As for our receivers, there wasn't anything special going on there, but defensively, Jaron Koenig won the Butkus and the Bednarik, and then 74 overall, Elijah Judy won the Lombardi. As for the playoff picture, our first matchup is against Texas, and their defense has been even better than ours. That is very scary, but we are the #1 seed for a reason, and a couple of guys must have gotten injured during practice or something because Omarion Hampton's in the game. I'll check the injury report after this play from Larrier getting 20, and apparently Jaden Nixon's out for the season while Chris Johnson Jr.'s out for 2 quarters. That's honestly huge because Omarion Hampton is an 85 for a reason, but we're on a 3rd and 19 already, and I'm going to try to thread it up the seam to Brock Bowers, which worked out. What a throw from Zachary Larrier, and I'm guessing Texas is running the ball on 3rd and 1, which was correct. We have a chance to go up 14-0 early on, and they are bringing the pressure, but we have a super quick quarterback who can make throws on the run, and I just can't believe how good the 71 overall has really been. He does not play like it at all. He juked out a bunch there, and now I'm just going to let Omarion Hampton go to work to pick up the first down. I think on this play, instead of passing, I'm just going to immediately scramble because I trust our quarterback. There's 3 guys to juke out, and he somehow got around all 3. It really feels like we can actually beat Texas. I was not ready for that inside route from Worthy though, and that would lead to a touchdown, but it's all good because I'm sure we're still going to score, and they just brought the house, plus forced a fumble. Okay, this is not good. We ended up giving up 21 straight, and we're back into a tie game now, but I just can't believe that we had all of the control, and now it's close again. But I should have known that it would never be easy. This is for a spot in the national championship, and on the option, I'm just going to have to pitch it last second, which worked out. I simmed the extra point where our kicker missed it though, so I'm not happy about that, and on 3rd and 5, they are going to convert, so maybe if we send even more people at them, we can stop them this time. That's the best ending we could have gotten to the 3rd quarter, and with 5 minutes left on the clock, I'm just going to try to run down as much as I can. I think this option pitch is going to work. Monterey Baldwin somehow juked out that guy, and he's getting past midfield. Man, we are playing good right now, and the quarterback draw is just going to get us an extra first down. But since we're almost in field goal range, I should probably start sliding, and the Wildcat formation has been so hit or miss for us, but at least we're going to get a few more yards here, and that makes this a very manageable 3rd and 3, which Chris Johnson Jr. is going to pick up with ease. It was very tight for a bit, but I think we're about to pull away, and on the 2-point conversion, we haven't passed in a while, so I went for it, but their corners are just locked down. Larrier somehow escapes though, and it's intercepted. Okay, I thought he was about to make a great play there, but you know what? At the end of the day, we are still in control of this game, and they just took a check down inbounds, so if they don't want to use one of their 3 timeouts, they're just going to have to burn through clock, and that should have been an interception, but instead it looks like they're about to score. It's a fumble and picked up. So much just happened there, but Texas isn't out of it yet. Thank goodness we were able to recover the ball there, and with their 3 timeouts, we need at least 1 first down, which it looks like we're already going to get. The Longhorns did their best, but at the end of the day, they simply couldn't stop the run, and I'm ready to go on to the national championship, and our opponent will be one of these 2 teams. I thought Florida State would put up a better fight than this, but they got blown out, and I'm a little worried they're going to do the same to us. So far this year, our best defense has always been just sending as many blitzes as possible, but it's not working today, and that's made it a bit harder to get defensive stops. On 3rd and 6, they went to Roman Wilson, who's also quick, and this has been a long first drive for Michigan. On 3rd and goal, we just got to hold them short, and we do. That is absolutely massive, and here on 2nd and 6, I'm going to go with a little bit of a read option. We need a good offensive start. Zachary Larrier is going to break free, and don't tell me that anybody on this defense is quick enough to catch him. Come on. I've honestly had so much fun using him in this video, along with the rest of these players, and maybe I should do a rebuild in the future where I can only recruit the fastest players, because it's kind of the same thing. I thought it was big to score the first touchdown of the game, but they responded back almost immediately, and now we're just going to have to run with Zachary Larrier again. The pressure got in, my offensive line couldn't hold up, and he is so quick. We might never pass the ball if they don't give us the right look, because this is what's been working for us so far. Monterey Baldwin gets another 15, and this is a huge 3rd and 6. I'm just going to lay it off into a halfback screen. Omarion Hampton catches it. He might not have the speed to get around everybody though, and this is one of those decisions where I'm just going to have to go with my gut, and it pays off. I know it's a a bit risky, but I would love to have a touchdown to end the first half instead of a field goal, and we are gonna get it. We're also starting the second half with ball, which is massive if Kalen King could do anything for us this year on the kick returns. But since he can't, we're just gonna have a slow, methodical drive down the field running the ball, and it's taken 2.5 quarters, but I finally got the look I wanted. They pressed our wide receivers, and what was that throw? That is not good, because after a bad run, we are forced to a 3rd and 10. I am gonna have to escape around with Zach, and most normal people would punt it on 4th and 6, but I think we're gonna be able to pick up the slant. We have so much speed out there, we gotta go for it. And listen, being aggressive has gotten us to this point, so there's no reason to go away from it now. Omari and Hampton on the counter should be able to go to the house, but since our wide receiver couldn't hold the block for long enough, we're gonna have to work a little bit harder for it, and that was honestly just too easy. Phillip Brooks is gonna dive on in. This is a massive 3rd and 9 now for us on defense. I know that route's gonna get open against man-to-man coverage, and come on, please intercept this. Let's go, Williams. That is huge. Now we're gonna go in the Wildcat, where they think that we're running the ball, but we're passing, and the throw's off the marks. But because we're in a better position, I can risk mixing it up, and he is wide open on the sidelines. That's another big first down. It's actually going to take us to the end of the 3rd quarter, and if we could finish this drive off with a touchdown, I'd like to think that we can escape with a win. Zachary Larrier's doing the most, but he's been our MVP, and every single time we've gotten into the red zone, we've scored. All around, we've just controlled the clock well, and I want to say this has been one of our best performances yet. On the run, that's going to go to Baldwin, and JJ McCarthy's trying so hard to keep his team in it, but I think it's a bit too late. Even though they'd go on to score a touchdown, they still need a lot to go their way, including this 2-point conversion where we've just generated no pressure, but now they have to recover the onside kick, and they're not gonna. To be honest, this might be messed up, but I feel like running up the score just to celebrate our victory, and we did not just fumble the football. Oh my gosh, I am pulling a Miami, and please tell me his knee was already on the ground. The refs have saved us, and we are just gonna go ahead and take 3 knees, so that means it's possible to win a national championship with the fastest team ever, and I wasn't sure we'd get to this point as an 81 overall, but we have. Anyways, if you made it this far, I know you enjoyed the video, so you might as well check out all of my other rebuilds right here.